Alrighty, I wanted to just quickly do a trade recap for today because I'm holding myself accountable. So I trade futures NQES. I've been doing MNQ and MES and taking on kind of more contracts. I'm focusing more on prop firm and using that as a way to fund my life because I'm sick and tired of taking money from my life. So my trade account right now, reset this chart. I like looking at both of these. I don't always take these trades at the same, like I don't always check MNQ and MES at this all the time, but sometimes I will take them together and try to keep my number of contracts low so that I'm not over leveraging or overextending myself. So my bias was bearish. It just was. And interestingly enough, looking at these two, so I'm on the 5 minute, looking at these two, there was an SMT divergence here that took place. So I was like, okay, this is supporting my bias for bearish. And of course, between these two, I was focusing on the ES because this was more bearish. Granted, this happened in the pre-market, but I just liked marking that out just for my own personal knowledge, what have you. And I liked marking out anywhere where I saw price could possibly liquefy or could show liquidity sweep and reverse back down. So in this instance, there's a high right over here that I could see price going up above and then reversing back down. Price ended up opening up with this bullish candle, which was cool. And then I actually fell asleep from work, so I actually didn't wake up until about 9, or which would be, 9 p.m. or really it's 10 p.m. New York time. So I woke up to this candle over here, this candle here. I woke up to this black candle here, and I was like, okay, not much had happened. Also, I knew there was some US news jolts took place, job openings. I guess that's what gave it that, I want to say that jolt, but really nothing happened. That candle was very anticlimactic as far as its appearance. And then I noticed it formed an SMT divergence here. Again, similar to the previous one it made almost during pre-market where it's creating a lower high. Here it's creating a higher low. So in my head, I was like, okay, cool, we're going to be bearish. That's great. All I'm going to wait for is for this gap that I had drawn over here to be inversed. And voila, the gap got inversed. And then I waited for the price to be tapped into again and for price to come back down. So when this candle closed underneath it, I was ready to take in the trade, and I took in the trade. I set my stops above this swing high because this is the swing high that caused that initial move for the inverse, and I went to sleep. I set my stop loss above here, and I'm saying I went to sleep not to say that I was super confident because again I lost. I said I'm going to sleep because I set my stop loss. Like I'm not great at watching the chart every single minute, every tick, every candle that pops up on it. Like it can kind of give one some level of anxiety. And so I kind of focus more on just what happened. I set my stop loss. I have a reason for entering. Even if I'm out of my trading window, you know, I've hit my key level, I've reversed off of it. I have a break of structure over here. I have an inverse gap. I have a tap in, even though this tapped in over, it kept trending back downward. Actually, I don't even think I entered here. I think I entered because I already had the inverse here. So in my head, again, we're bearish, so I probably entered in somewhere here, especially with this kind of candle. I entered in over here and went to sleep. And I set my stop loss right above here. My stop loss was like 1,000 or so. And my take profit was going to be somewhere down here, 1,700 or so. Well, price decided to do what it does and went up, closed above this swing high with this huge white candle, which of course I was asleep during this whole process, and went up and made all this move here. I guess I could check Twitter to see if there was news that came out specifically at 12:35, but I went back and was like, because price is always going to do what it wants to do, so the question is always going to be, was my bias correct? Well, I leave it on my screen, but I don't realistically use it. The EMA, everything was bearish as far as I'm concerned on the 4 hour this whole time. I didn't have a reason to think it was bullish. Even, okay, this is 6 a.m. on Monday. This is a high. This is a lower high at 1800. Let's see. This is actually an equal high at 1800, and that's on the 4 hour on S&P. If I do the same on the NQ, let me put it down to the 4 hour. Yep, this is a high. This is a lower high. This is 6 a.m. Nope, I wouldn't have considered. So it's bullish for me. I mean, excuse me, bearish for both entity, like both indexes. So I was bearish on both. My bias for me was still correct. I traded the way I normally would trade. I didn't change anything at all. So yeah, you lose. For sure you lose. That's another reason why stop losses are important, especially for somebody like me who falls asleep because I trade, the day after I've worked a 12 or 14-hour shift or so. I don't think I would have done anything different. Could I have entered into this trade and taken it? I guess you could, because if this is a key level right here, London, you've dipped underneath, you reversed back up, you could look for a gap somewhere over here, and then you could have entered in despite this SMT, which is fine because SMT is not the end all, and taking the trade upward. But I decided to stay married to my bias because we'd been in such a bearish market for a while. I wasn't really willing to go bullish on this trade. So yeah, I have negative 1300 on my top step accounts. I think a few of them actually closed. So we'll see what tomorrow looks like. I may not even trade. It might be a smart idea to stay away from the markets, but I'll still look and see. And then Thursday and Friday are probably the bigger days to look at trading. Go from there and see what that brings. That's the end of it.